Black Myth Wukong is hard. It's harder than Stellar Blade, harder than God of War, and even harder than Wulong Fallen Dynasty. And I'm not alone on feeling this either. I recently read through some Reddit threads, as well as watching some content on this game, which had people voicing how difficult it really is. But what makes this boss rush, action-adventure, linear, open-world hybrid so difficult in the first place? Why are these bosses giving us this much trouble? And why is it difficult in such a different way that I'm ultimately impressed by? All I know is I realized very early on that there was more to it when it came to fighting these bosses. It isn't just repeated patterns that you have to memorize. They adjust their moves and counter based on what you do. You get behind them, they'll kick you in the face. Stay at their feet and attack there, then they try and stomp on you as if you're a little tiny insignificant bug that is annoying them. You power up your heavy attack just a bit too late, and then it gives them the time to notice and then dodge away. And trust me, they do take advantage of that. And then when they know they're at their end and their health is almost depleted, they react with turning it up a whole other notch, as if they're desperate and pulling out every trick that they can. And most of the difficult bosses in this game all have different tricks, so it requires a constant switch up of skills and stances and items even that I'm using in order to defeat each individual boss. There's a reason that we can respec at any time and at no cost, and it's because of these bosses switching it up on us. We have to in turn counter with different strategies in order to defeat them. And that, I feel, adds a different layer of challenge on top of it, because yes, respecing at any time, that sounds like it makes it easier, and in theory it does, but at the same time it has us guessing on what we need to do next and how we switch it up and what we do different depending on the boss. And that could take some fine tuning. It could take a minute because some bosses are just more difficult than others. And the funny, interesting thing about it is that it's not because these bosses hit us too hard or we're under-leveled or something like that. It's more so that we're not executing the right move or using the right item or skill at the right time. And that's really what it is. It's execution that we have to do in a particular order that we formulate as we go in order to counter these bosses, because they are constantly countering us. It's this crazy back and forth dance that feels more challenging because if we slip up in any kind of way and we're not executing properly, they take advantage of it. And it feels as if they're super smart and just countering and having an answer for everything we're doing. So it inherently feels like we have to play at a top level. We have to play our best. We can't be sloppy, we can't hack and slash, we can't spam the same move over and over. And instead of it being about memorizing their patterns, it's more so coming equipped with the right equipment. That's really what it is. It's having the right spells, the right skills, the right items at the right times. There's cooldowns when it comes to these spells. There's attacks that they do that can block our spells. Like they can literally stop them. So if we use them at a bad time when we're about to get hit, say goodbye to that spell because it's gone for a while and we have to wait for those spells to constantly cool down. And it just becomes about pacing ourselves and not quote unquote blowing our load too fast. That's the best way I could say it. And I know it's a little raunchy, but that's really what it is. We don't want to use everything too fast because we won't go the distance and we won't have enough. And so it's a big dance with this boss, but on a different level. In my experience, I play a lot of Souls games, a lot of difficult games with very difficult bosses. And this game, I feel, is just very different. And these bosses and the difficulty surrounding them is a big reason I would say this is not a Souls game. I know some people call this a Souls-like. I don't. And it's because of what I've went through with these bosses. It's not like Souls games. It's very, very different. I think of them as a puzzle and us having to have the right piece to that puzzle at any given time. And those puzzle pieces come in the form of our skills, our spells, our stances, our everything that we have on us and how we use it at the right fitting time in order to fit that puzzle piece into the puzzle and complete it and have success. And if one piece is off and not there and it's missing, the whole puzzle goes up in flames. That's really what it kind of feels like. So it's a lot of execution. This game is very execution heavy. It's very much about doing the right things at the right time and less about memorizing patterns. Because yes, we want to know what moves are coming. We can anticipate them, but do we have the right answer for them? That's the question. And that's really what I feel makes this game more difficult and in a different kind of way compared to what I'm used to. Black Myth Wukong is definitely one of the most difficult games I've played this generation, and it's a little bit hard to articulate because there's a lot to it. I haven't even touched the fact that it's very hard to touch these bosses at times. There's times where I have a move that I'm brewing up and I'm ready to use, only for them to dodge away at the right moment or to go up in the air and I can't even get to them. There's a lot of those moments when it comes to these bosses, which can cause me to get pissed off. I got pissed off a lot on this game. Let me tell you guys, I really did, because there were so many moments where I had them. I was one hit away. You know, you have those boss fights, those attempts where you're so close and you die right at the end, and then it'll happen, you know, every so often. Not in this game. It was way more consistent having those moments where I was so close, one hit away, only for them to dodge at the perfect moment, or they go up in the air at the perfect moment, or they stop my spell right when I desperately needed it. That is always happening in this game, and it's infuriating, let me tell you. So that is why I feel Black Myth Wukong is one of the most difficult games of this generation, and these are really the reasons why. Let me know what you think, if you have anything to add to it, if there's something that I missed that you feel makes this game difficult, or are you one of the others who think this game was not that bad? It's all a matter of perspective and what we're kind of used to. I feel like our experience with other games can drive us to feel how we feel when it comes to difficult games. But for me personally, I just felt like, man, this game really kept me on my toes. It kept me guessing. It kept me just changing and switching up things. And that, I feel, can kind of drive me up the wall a little bit and just keep me scratching my head. But I did it. I beat the game, of course, and it was something, man. I gotta tell you, it was an experience for sure. But yeah, I wanted to touch on all of this and just kind of give my reasons to why I think this game is so difficult. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. All right, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.